Oh crap, Twitter you can show up now.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome, welcome to the Dos Equis especial evaluation. I'm Keone with California Beer Reviews. We've got the one and only Jay from Louisiana Beer Reviews and Dark Knight Studios. I'll have the links to their channels in the description below, but let's get started.
Yes. Hello, folks. Welcome from the South. The Gulf South, the South Central States. Where is Dark Knight from?
UK.
Oh, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Welcome, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Well, technically I'm from Ireland, but I live in UK now.
Oh, the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah. Don't really like it over there.
My daughter went to Ireland last year and the United Kingdom.
Yeah, it's a nice place to go visit, just advise not living there.
Everybody says that about their own country. Hey, Keone. I was doing some research. Now, you know this beer was started by a guy from Germany named Wilhelm Haas, and he was an immigrant to Mexico, and he started in 1897, but not this beer.
Yeah, the amber. A lot of people get the misconception that especial is the original.
Yeah, Dos Equis was just the amber. And then in 1984, 31 short years ago, they introduced the especial, I guess to appeal to the people that like the yellow fizzy drinks, you know what I mean? But, and then they renamed it Amber and Especial. So.
You two know your beer as well.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about that also on the amber examination. I forget exactly who it was, but somebody's like, oh, I like the original green bottle better, and then you're the one that explained that it was a green bottle.
Now, somebody might say, oh, you just think you know so much. Actually, I just read it on their website. It's not so much. Now, there is a little problem, though, because the Heineken brands, Heineken USA is saying this about Dos Equis. Now, their description is probably correct. Low bitterness and low alcohol volume. Dos Equis is a crisp and refreshing Mexican beer. Okay, no argument. Serve at 38 degrees with a lime. So they're saying really cold with a lime. Sounds correct for a lager. Here's the problem. They're saying 4.5% alcohol and 10 international bitterness units, 140 calories. But you jump onto the Dos Equis website, it says 4.2% alcohol, 131 calories. So
weird.
What's the story?
Does it vary between countries as well? Like, does Dark Knight have a stronger or lesser beer than we do?
It's probably going to be lesser. If it's from England, it'll be lighter alcohol, probably.
Yes, we're lighter.
Let's look at the bottle. The bottle says nothing. No, it just says beer crafted in Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what mine says too.
Is Dark Knight drinking out of a bottle or can?
Can.
Can. Keone, one interesting thing on this Heineken USA website is saying the smooth and easy to drink qualities of Dos Equis lager ensure high repeat purchases and sales per account. So it's almost like this is a website for brokers. You know what I mean? Like.
It sounds like it.
Not really for consumers.
Yeah.
In other words,
you'd
people
think
buy
there are two versions.
I've seen many beers where they have different variants, you know.
Yeah.
But those differences are not too profound. No skunk.
Yeah, none over here either.
No idea, if I don't really do much with beer and alcohol.
You're more of a gamer.
I'm more of a programmer than a gamer.
Oh,
I spend a lot of my time coding and fixing stuff with bitcoins and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I used to do a lot of Bitcoin mining myself, but I stopped once I got my first 1 million bitcoins. 3 years to get that much.
Keone, do you notice the aroma on this is so... It's like yeasty bread, right? It's like bread.
Yeah,
If you go to a nice Italian restaurant, they have fresh bread in that basket, and it's hot, and they have the yeasty smell. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It doesn't smell like corn or some kind of rice or corn adjunct. It smells like bread.
You
The
do know
taste
your
kind
alcohol
of
well.
almost like a hybrid. It kind of has some elements of a pilsner, but at the same time has some elements of an adjunct.
But I'm glad you said that because on the website it was saying it's a lager that drinks sort of like a pilsner. Well, a pilsner, of course, is a type of lager, but pilsners tend to have a grassier, more bitter
Yeah,
hop note, and this does not really have that too much. Maybe a little grassy
yeah.
note.
It's very subtle. I
It's
feel
nice.
that the amber has much more characteristics to it.
Yeah.
But
But
this is pretty decent for the summertime, I must say. And it's still hot here in California. We're at 93 degrees right now.
yeah, we're at 76. We had a cool front come through, so now we have low humidity, clear skies. You might even be able to see the sunshine. And
You
it's
can see
dry.
your background.
It's dry, yeah. And I can see why this beer is so popular. Well, of course, the main reason is because Heineken bought Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma and started plowing major money into the advertising, and it made it so big. But I don't see how anybody would drink this and think it's too bitter or it's too strong. It's just like super mellow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very mellow and smooth.
A little watery in the mouth. It has a little paperiness, I notice, like a lot of Central American beers.
Yeah.
You know, like writing paper, loose leaf paper. Some people say that's a sign of oxidation. I don't know, but I've tasted a lot of these beers, like from like Barina and Tonya from Central America, and they have that little paperiness.
Yeah.
Has Dark Knight had this beer before?
I've had it once, and that were about a couple of months ago on a night out somewhere.
And you weren't really like deep thinking it, right?
Not really. I was like just drinking all sorts that night. I've come to America before and tried loads of beers over there. That were quite good. Apart from having bad hangover next morning.
Oh boy. I was at 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago, 2011. I was in Miami, Florida, at a baseball game. And I met this British guy. He was from Wales, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, he likes to come to America to go to sporting events on the East Coast because it's close to him." So, and he was drinking a Budweiser, and I said, "Well," I said, "That's interesting." I said, "Well, what do you drink in Wales when you go out?" You know, I'm thinking he's going to give me some interesting British beer. Oh, he said, "Oh, we drank Budweiser."
Seriously? There's some good British beers over here.
So that was the British
Yeah.
answer to what do you drink in Great Britain? Oh, Budweiser.
Well, I can tell you what most people drinking around Leeds. A lot of people around Leeds used to drink a lot of Tetley's. If you've ever had that, it's now owned by Carlsberg.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people over here in where I live drink.
They
But
used
sadly, the factory's moved. I used to remember when I used to go to work on the morning, you used to be able to smell the hops from beer and stuff getting made in the morning and stuff. That used to be strong smelling.
Well, there was a store in New Orleans that sold a beer in cans called Tetley's Smooth Flow, I think it was called.
Yeah, I think that's one of their brand things.
And I said, "Wow, it's really good. You know, it's creamy tasting and
Yeah.
sweety and bready and so mild and mellow. You could drink it all day, I guess, if you wanted to." But I noticed the last time I went to look for Tetley's, they didn't have it. I guess it didn't sell too well. They'll try different things out around here, and if it doesn't move, they'll yank it off the shelf. I think there was one called Tetley's Cream Flow. But I never saw Cream Flow here. Anyway, Dos Equis, I guess you can get it on draft, but I've not seen it on draft. Oh, wait. Retraction. I had it on draft at Chili's once, and the stuff was rancid. Those little rats, they had a hurricane over here, and I know what they tried to do. They tried to keep that cask, I mean that what do you call it, keg after it had gotten warm and it was old. And I said, I can't drink this. Oh, the manager said, it doesn't taste bad to me. I said, well, you drink it. I'm not drinking it. Hell, it was obviously rancid. You know, it was like, no way I was drinking that.
Yeah, I don't think I really encountered any bad Dos Equis. I have encountered a lot of bad Coronas, though. It actually caused me to have a stigma against it. Corona is kind of on the bottom of my list when it comes to choosing Mexican beers. No offense to people out there. I really enjoy Corona. It's just I tend to always get skunky Corona bottles.
There goes that phone. No, I've not run across that very often. Maybe
I've never.
Huh?
I said I've never drinking that beer. Me, I've never come across it. It's saying that it's probably different over here from over there, beers and stuff. I've tasted a lot of home stuff that people have made at home in pubs and stuff. That's disgusting. Some of the stuff people have made.
But you've never had Corona Extra. Wow, that is so. How old are you, if you don't mind?
23. I turned 24 this year.
Oh well, you got a lot of time. I don't think I didn't start drinking beer until I turned 27. So there you go.
Hey, I'll just come out and go out with you. I'll just come over there and go out with you two drinking alcohol.
Yeah, but
I'll get to try a lot of different brands then.
I tell you what, though, I'm not a dedicated hardcore drinker. I'm more of a taster because I probably only drink about 22 beers per week. That's it. I can't handle heavy drinking. I drink a lot of water, but I do like to taste different things. And Corona Extra is one of the ones I like. So me and Keone now have a little issue between us.
That's good. It's always good.
Yeah, I was always pleased with the Corona Extra on draft, but in the bottle always got kind of a bad batch, I'd say.
Well, I thought it only has been on draft since 2014.
Wow.
Because that's what they were saying last year. Now on draft. But Corona, out of the can, you're never going to get it skunked out of the can, because the light's not hitting it.
I think I had a tall boy, the 24-ounce can, but I never had the actual 12-ounce cans.
Yeah, try that. And if you have it out of the brown bottle, it won't be skunked.
Yeah, the Familial or whatever it's called.
Familiar.
That was pretty good. I never had a skunk one of that one either.
Yeah, but when you get it in those clear bottles, then you got to watch out because I'm telling you, these grocery stores or beer outlets, whoever sells beer, they are not worrying about if it's in the light or not.
Yeah.
You might be worried about it. They will let it set under a lamp for 2 months. Doesn't matter to them. And a lot of people, and that's why it's best to reach and get one that's been tucked away, out of the light. Because you just don't know. Now, Bruce Wayne, have you ever had a Mexican beer called Soul over at Wayne Manor?
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah, apparently that's a pretty common Mexican beer sold in England. It's kind of a little more dull than what we're drinking right now, if you can imagine that. It's pretty dull. But people drink it like water, but it is very watery. Now, the thing that sets this beer apart is the aroma. The flavor is kind of, ordinary. Not bad, but don't you agree, Keone, the flavor's kind of blah?
Yeah, I do agree. I'm trying to figure out exactly what type of grains they're using in here because I'm getting some elements of corn, but at the same time I'm getting rice. But I can't really tell.
I'm pretty sure they're just using barley malt, water, hops, yeast, and corn adjunct. But, that's probably yellow corn grits from Mexico, and they're probably not using a whole lot of it. Now, if you get the Bohemia, which nobody could find when we did the review.
I ran into the Pilsner Urquell last week, I think it was. I was like, I'd be damned. I was taking my grandma to the doctor, and we're a little bit out of San Diego, about 15 miles away. And I was out of curiosity. I was bored. I went and walked into the supermarket that was nearby, and I was like, I'll be damned. I seen Pilsner Urquell in there. I was like, man, I could have got it.
Oh, that's a wonderful beer. It's got so much flavor. Of course, you're going to pay twice as much, but then you're getting twice as much, right? So hey,
Yeah.
the Bohemia is like the premier beer from Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma in Mexico. I mean, it's like a lot more expensive than what we're drinking.
Yeah, it really surprised me that
It's so good.
it's made in Mexico is hard to find in California. Really crazy to me.
Yeah, you're probably 40 miles from the border, huh?
Yeah, I'd say about 25, 30, something like that. I'm really southern.
30 miles from the border.
Yeah.
You've been to Tijuana?
I'm afraid to, seeing all the things in the news.
What's the worst that could happen?
Apart from you guys shot probably. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, besides being murdered. But
Well, launch up into your bulletproof vest.
no, I've never been to Tijuana either. But I did go to Tecate, and it's 9 years ago, and I'm walking around, la-di-da, and all the Mexicans were sad. They were all depressed when I was walking around because they had just literally lost the World Cup in soccer. I got to the Plaza Central, and they had this huge widescreen TV set up. I mean, I've noticed that about Mexico. Those people are so poor, they have nothing but the shirts on their backs and the satellite dish on their roof. And they got no money, but they all got satellite dishes, you know, and with the premier package, by the way. But so they had this huge screen TV, and right when I got there, the game had just ended, and all the people were walking around with their heads down, and I said, "Oh, they're lost." But I'm sure it was very festive in that central square, right when that game was going on. But I walked around, you know, and I would have liked to go to the brewery, but I think Heineken bought the brewery and sold it. They don't really own it anymore, and Tecate's made in other towns. Tecate is a sister or brother brand of what we're drinking right now.
Interesting. Talking about Tecate, though, that's one of my favorite Mexican beers. It tends to have the most flavor out of all the Mexican beers I had so far. Beer Zerker actually doesn't agree with me. He says Tecate is one of the worst Mexican beers.
He's crazy. He's berserk. He's going berserk.
Yeah, I love that beer.
He's a beer zerker. Tecate has a strong corn flavor. Now, when you drink Tecate, it's like tortilla chips, you know. But I mean, it's good tortilla chips. It's good. I love Tecate. And for $5.99 a 6-pack and $10.99 a 12-pack, okay, thank you. I'll drink it.
Yeah, it's really cheap, and you got a good balance between the grains, the malt, and the hops. That's what I really love about that beer.
And another oddball thing about Tecate, any beer you buy from this company is going to be a pry cap. But if you get Tecate, it's a twist cap.
Interesting. That's odd. I found that normally only visible on American-style beers. Imported beers, they're all pop caps.
No. I bought a 6-pack of. I'll show you. I'll go get it right now. I'll show you what I bought yesterday, and it's a twist cap. Hold on.
Oh yeah, one of the guys is gonna message you later about your Bitcoin problem. He's got a fix for your problem.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm talking to you.
Keone.
Well, anyway, he's got a fix for you, Kiyomi.
Okay.
He's got a script that should work for you, but it's only a temporary patch. You'll last about a week and then you'll crash.
Oh, nice. Canada. I like how they did the lettering there.
Yeah, Molson Canadian, introduced in 1959, imported from Toronto in the Dominion of Canada, another country that was owned by Great Britain.
Yes.
Besides the United States and Ireland, I might add, but and about 100 other countries. But
technically, Britain still kind of owns it because our Queen's a monarch of it or some crap.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure and all that.
Right.
But we owned lots of countries at one point.
That's right. Queen Elizabeth is the Queen of Canada. That is true. So, but the Canadians like to be independent to a large extent. All right. Now, but it did come from yeah, I've done a lot of studying of Canada, by the way, Dark Knight, because I used to teach geography in high school, so I know about it.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Olsen Canadian, and this is a very old company, established in what was it, 1786. But this beer has only been out since 1959. But the purpose of me bringing it out was that it's a twist cap.
Nice.
But this is not what I'm drinking tonight, Keone. You know what I'm about to drink at 6 o'clock in 1 hour and a half?
But Miller High Life?
No. Hold on. Whoa. Miller screwed up because Miller was selling their 18 packs of High Life for $9.99.
What?
And you know I was buying those like crazy. But then I went back there and it was $11.79. I said sorry. I paid $11.29 for a 18 pack of these little bellows.
I know you can't go with natural ice. That's my favorite ice beer for sure.
130 calories, so it's low alcohol. It's not heavy. It's almost like a light beer, but it has 5.9% alcohol, so you don't want to drink too many of these.
Yeah, I know. Another good one is ice. But I still believe natural ice is a little bit better.
Yeah, and it's one interesting thing about the Dark Knight's probably thinking, why are you talking about all these extraneous things? One interesting thing about natural ice is that all the natural branded beers have two things on them at all times. And they've always had this for 38 years. They always have a horse collar and boomerangs. Two boomerangs. Now I understand the horse collar, right? Because Budweiser with their Clydesdale horses, and they go around at parades and pull the wagon with the beer, right? Okay, horse collar. But boomerangs? Well, I mean, do they like playing boomerang? I mean, I don't understand the connection. You know, it's boomerangs, a horse collar, and an Anheuser-Busch Eagle. So there's some kind of secret Masonic code? Is there some sort of code that we can get into the temple with this beer?
I was actually wondering the same thing last time I had some natural ice. I was like, is this just some odd 90s styling that they used back maybe 15, 20 years ago, or is this some sort of odd style they're going for? I didn't really know, but I was kind of curious about that.
No, here's a natural ice bottle from 1996.
Bloody hell.
It's got the horse collar, it's got the two boomerangs, and if you go to the pyramids in Egypt and you hold this bottle up at 12 noon when the sun shines through it on the equinox, the whole pyramid will open up.
You know, someone's probably going to go, like, try that.
It'll probably work. So
Yeah, no, post the video and you'll be regretting it.
that could be a separate series, Keone, that we could do. Theosophical coding on beer cans and bottles.
I'm just throwing it out here, but I was going to say, we can always do a video on this guy, too. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that. Roja?
Roja.
Roma?
Roja.
Roma.
Roja.
Roja. Roja.
Yeah. Like red. Means like reddish, you know, like reddish. A reddish beer. I'm waiting to buy it. I'm waiting to buy it. All the stores have it in the warehouse. They're not putting it out on the shelves yet. They're trying to get rid of the Azul first, okay?
Yeah, I seen that, and I was like, I gotta get it.
So by the time we get the Roja, it's going to be nice and stale. Well, anyway, I guess we beat this Dos Equis Especial to death, eh?
Yeah. I think this is a decent beer. To me, it's kind of too watered down for my taste. Like, when we did the Modelo examination, even with me being sick and a plugged up nose, I noticed there was more going on with that beer than this one. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's very well made. It's
Yeah.
very well made. It's like, you know, you could tell they take their time and they don't just throw it together because it's like pinpoint perfectly done. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
nothing off or weird about it, or
It's still
but
a
it's still
very
dull. I mean, you can perfectly make a dull beer, right?
yeah. Still very decent beer to me, and I feel like it could pair with almost any food that you throw at it, and it's just really good. A lot of people think I'm crazy because I have family members come over sometimes, and I'm over there sipping on some Budweiser or Coors Banquet, and they're like, "Why are you doing that? That's some cheapo beer." But I'm like, there's a lot of processes that go into that beer, and I really admire their workmanship and just everything that goes into that beer.
And not to mention, you can invite the critics to purchase your beers.
Yeah.
Tell them, look, I mean, if you want me to drink these exquisite, expensive beers, you can fund it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't tell me what to drink because I'm paying for it. You know, it's like I'll drink Chimay Grand Reserve every day, but you buy it. Well, then they'll shut up and say, hey, Budweiser's a pretty darn good beer. You should keep getting it.
Yeah. So,
Somebody
Dark
just
Knight,
told me
how did you like that beer?
Hey,
How did you like that beer, Dark Knight? You think it was pretty good?
Not bad.
he said, not bad.
Would you buy it again?
Probably.
Did you
No,
see?
I think I'm
Have
gonna
it
go to the
in
shop
the
and look for what you're drinking next. You need to go find what you're drinking next.
Well, yeah, try to find the Ambar. Well, Keone, I like it, and I would buy it again. I wouldn't run out and get it all the time because you know me. I'm just like you. I'm always jumping brand to brand, you know. So
You don't like to limit yourself to one brand.
That's kind of how I am, and I've been going through the
I've never been brand loyal.
kind of scene. I
Wait,
actually
There's
use
no,
the macros.
there's no really point of being brand loyal because at one point that company could go bust and you're stuffed.
right? Like, why be loyal to a brand?
You might as well try everything else. Then you've got a backup or something in case one of them goes that you don't like or something.
Yeah, I was loyal to the Hulk, and they canceled the comic book.
What?
I was loyal to the Fantastic Four, and they canceled it. But makes sense since they can't really make money if me and 25 other people are buying it. You know, I don't think those two comic books were doing too well for a long time. Well, you know, comic books don't really do well anymore.
Comic books, depending on what the comic is, it does do well. I were at Comic-Con this year, right, and one comic book from 1991 sold for 5 million.
Well, wait,
That was a very old one.
yeah, I don't mean collectibles don't do well, and I don't mean that movies don't do well. But comic books in general, like an ongoing series that comes out every month, I don't think those do too well because people jump. You know how we're talking about we jump from brand to brand? People jump from thing to thing. So, like, the comic books that do well now are these little 6-month series or 12-month series.
Yeah.
And then they jump onto something else. So, but to think that people are going to subscribe to a book and get it in the mail once a month and read it for 35 years, no, those days are over. That used to go on. I did it, but I'm from, you know, I was 10 years old in 1978 when that's all you could do. But then when the video games started to come into play the next year in 1979 with Space Invaders and all that, that started to erode the loyalty to print.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Makes me want to try to support comic books and try to get out there and buy them. I haven't bought them for years, but I used to have a big bucket full of comics. But once I moved out of my parents' house, they threw them all away, sadly to say.
Yeah,
I've got quite a lot, me.
Comic books' heyday was really in the 1960s and 70s, and really in the early 70s they started to decline because of television becoming so popular. And then with video games, the advent of video games in the 80s, well, of course we know video games started in 1972 with Pong, but in the 80s was when it really started to take off. And so comic books started to go downhill. And then when the internet started to take off in 1997, that's when they really started to hit the skids. Movies are still popular because they don't last long and you watch one and you go home.
Yeah.
and you don't have to store it, right? You just watch it. But comic books, you got to keep them. And we see all these boxes. It's like people say, I do not want to take up all this space. Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got the room, you might as well do it. But I don't think everybody has room to store loads of comics now.
No. I started early enough. To where it was doable, but I wouldn't get into that hobby now. No way. But
I
beer
still
is.
buy comic books today, mate.
I'm sorry. What?
I still buy comic books today. I've got loads. I've got about 1,000 or more.
Yeah, I've got. Well, 6,000.
You've got a good collection then.
Yes, because I started in 1976, and and then I dropped out for a little while. But then I've been straight doing it every month since May of 1986. I haven't missed a month since May of '86.
Wow.
But anyway, beer is a good hobby because you can drink it and throw the cans out, throw out the bottles, go on to something else. Now, I save some bottles. Keone, you do that too, I think. But
Yeah.
that's no big deal because if I get sick of looking at them, just throw them all away. It's no big, they fade or whatever. The sun hits them, they fade. But
Yeah.
it's consumable, right? Beer, you drink it and then you're done with it.
Yep.
It's a weird hobby, though, isn't it, Keone? Like, why are people so interested in just a drink, right?
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand. But to me, I like it. It's fun to do the videos, and also I feel like every time you buy a new beer, it's like a new adventure.
Yeah, right. I tell people that. It's like a little adventure. But then, man, people get so serious about it, like hating each other on the internet over beer. It's like, why would you do that? It's like, why would you want to talk bad about somebody or hate them or say, I'm not going to talk to you anymore over a beverage? I don't. That part I don't understand. I really don't. And then
I really don't understand that fanism, or I don't know what you want to call it. I had a call from that one hot zone name. You would say Chris, and he was saying, "Oh, I hate craft beer. I like my malt liquor." And I was like, "Man, I like both. I could not live without either macro or craft because it just keeps everything interesting, keeps everything new and exciting. You just stick to one way."
Yeah, why are you? Yeah, right. That's a problem too. You got these malt liquor people that are like dedicated to this one style. That's an interesting style, extra strong beer. It has its place, but like, why would you only do that? Like, would you only eat one type of food? It's like somebody that says, "I'll only eat macaroni and cheese. That's all I eat." It's like, what would be the purpose of that? What would be the? I'm on Facebook. I'm in a group called Macaroni and Cheese Lovers. That's all we talk about. Well, good, but why? Like, that's insane, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then you get the craft beer people that are obsessed with that,
Fanboys, basically.
Huh?
I said they're probably fanboys, basically.
Yeah, the fanboy thing, the whole thing about, I gotta be out there, out front, representing I don't have a lot of confidence in myself, so I have to go out and be out front and make everybody think that I'm a big shot.
There's a lot of those out in the world, though.
Well, if you had confidence in yourself, you wouldn't need all the chains on your neck, the tattoos on your biceps, and you wouldn't need to be in front of the nightclub cursing and screaming and
Those type of people are just hiding who they really are.
calling people out. Yeah, right. It's like, get a grip. Well, anyway, we're getting too philosophical on a beer examination. Sorry, Keone.
Huh?
Sorry, Keone.
All right. So
Just think if we had drinking 3 or 4 beers, what we'd be talking about. Good Lord.
Yeah, it'd probably be quite hilarious to watch.
More like embarrassing, but hey, Keone, thanks for inviting me. I hope I didn't get too bizarre.
No, I enjoy your rambles. They actually incite me a lot, and probably a lot of the viewers that are watching too, they can get a lot out of it.
And I actually learned something today as well.
Yeah, you're our teacher.
I hope Dark Knight learned something good.
Yeah, I'll learn something good and it'll stick for like 2 hours. Then when I go back to code, it'll like zoom out of my head.
Say that sentence again.
I'll like learn something off you, and then like an hour later it'll be gone because of the amount of time I code. I code about 18 hours a day.
Oh, that's too much.
Not really. When I get paid roughly by people about $190 an hour, roughly.
You're not working enough. You need to work more. All right. Well, Jay will not say another word.
Alright, I guess we should wrap it up. But yeah, people at home, this is a decent beer. You guys should go out and try it for yourself. You won't, for the most part, you won't be displeased. It's pretty mellow enough where anybody could get into the beer. And also, if you guys right now, or I don't know how to explain it, but I'm going to be doing a wine review with Beer Zerker. We're going to be looking at some New Zealand wines, so if any of you guys want to come, you're more than welcome. But, huh?
I said excellent.
But
That'll
yeah,
be good to watch.
until next time, thanks for watching.